All right, let's jump right in. We're going to go on a journey through the U.S. tax code, but not as some dusty, boring document. Think of it as a blueprint for building wealth. We're going to follow a story from a very first paycheck all the way up to a 9-figure estate, so we can really understand how this system actually works. You know that feeling. I think we've all had it. You get your first real job, you're so excited, you've memorized the salary on the offer letter, and then that first paycheck hits your bank account, and you just stare at it. Like, wait a minute, something's not right here. The math isn't mathing. And that's something wrong. Well, on a pretty normal $52,000 salary, it adds up to almost $11,000 a year. Just gone. It's taken from you. No meeting, no phone call, no one asks your permission. This is everyone's first introduction to the tax system. It's not a choice, it just happens. So where did it go? And maybe more importantly, do you have any say in any of this? See, that question right there is what kicks off this entire journey. Because for most people, the story just ends with that confusion. They shrug, they move on. But it doesn't have to. When you're 22, the tax code feels like this giant, impenetrable brick wall. You get your W-2 form, you take the standard deduction because that's what everyone does, and hey, maybe you even get a tax refund and you think, yes, I won. But a refund doesn't mean you won. It just means you gave the government an interest-free loan for a year. You're playing a game and you don't even know the rules. And that brings us to the very first rule of this game. Rule number 1, you don't pay what you owe, you pay what they take. As a regular employee, you have almost zero control. The system is literally designed to take its cut before you ever get to touch the money. You're just a passive observer. But then, a few years go by, something shifts. You hear term, maybe you're zoning out in a company benefits meeting, and someone says Roth IRA. You get curious, you look it up, you open one. And for the very first time, you feel like you found a little secret passage, a small door in that giant wall. So what even is a Roth IRA? The best way to think about it isn't as an investment itself. It's more like a special tax-proof box. You put your normal investments, your stocks, your funds, inside this box. And all the growth, all the compounding that happens inside that box over decades, you can pull it all out in retirement 100% tax-free. This is your first taste of actual strategy. And the power of that one little step is just staggering. If you consistently put money into that Roth IRA with just average market returns, you could end up with over $2 million. And the tax bill on that $2 million? Zero. Zilch. Nada. That is the power of finding that first door. So let's jump to the next stage of the story. You decide to start a side hustle, maybe some freelance work. A client pays you and you get the full amount. There's no withholding. It feels amazing. Until tax season hits, and suddenly, bam, you are slammed with a 15.3% self-employment tax on top of everything else. The rules just changed on you completely. But this moment of pain, this is the real turning point. That anger you feel about the huge tax bill, it turns into curiosity. You actually start reading IRS publications, and you discover this magical phrase, ordinary and necessary business expenses. Suddenly, your laptop, your home office, the miles you drive for work, they're all deductible. That wall isn't just a wall anymore. It's becoming a doorway, and you've just found the handle. And this reveals the second and maybe the most important rule of all. The tax code doesn't change based on how much you make. It changes based on how you earn it. An employee and a business owner can make the exact same amount of money and live in two totally different tax worlds. This one distinction is the key that unlocks everything else. So your side hustle keeps growing. It's not so side anymore. It's a real business and your income is climbing, which is great. But your tax bill is climbing right along with it. And this is when you realize you don't just need a strategy anymore, you need a structure. Okay, just look at this. If you form something called an S corporation, you can pay yourself a reasonable salary, and yeah, you pay taxes on that. But the rest of the profit? You can take that as a distribution, and that distribution is not subject to that nasty 15.3% self-employment tax. On an income of $150,000, this one simple legal move can save you almost $14,000 every single year. The difference is absolutely massive. And that brings us right to rule number 3. The most expensive thing you will ever do is nothing. The cost of not learning this stuff, of not forming that S-corp, it has a very real price. It's like a hidden tax you pay just for not knowing the rules of the game you're already in. As your business keeps growing, maybe you buy your first rental property, and this is where you discover a truly wild concept: depreciation. The IRS basically lets you deduct a piece of the property's value every year as a loss, even if your property is making you money and going up in value. It's a loss that only exists on paper, but it reduces your very real tax bill. You're legally losing money you never actually lost. It's kind of nuts. So now we're entering the big leagues. Your business is thriving, and you're no longer just thinking about bank accounts. You're thinking in entities. You've got holding companies, operating companies, real estate LLCs. The whole game is shifted from just earning income to building an entire machine that's designed for tax efficiency. And inside this machine, the options available are incredible. You can put away huge amounts of money in special retirement plans. You can use something called the Augusta Rule to rent your own home to your business tax-free. You can even pay your kids a tax-deductible salary for real work they do. The tax code is just full of these elections. And this gets to a really crucial point at this level, which is rule number 4. The tax code isn't just a set of obligations. It's a set of elections. It's a menu of options that you can choose from, but here's the catch. The IRS doesn't send you a reminder. You have to know these options exist, and you have to choose to use them. At the absolute highest levels of wealth, another fundamental shift happens. Earning income, like a salary, actually becomes inefficient. So instead, you stop taking a salary and you start borrowing against your assets, like your investment portfolio. And why would you do that? Because a loan is not income. And if it's not income, it's not taxable. This leads us to rule number 5. The wealthy don't just earn more, they reclassify what they receive. They aren't focused on getting a bigger paycheck. They're focused on changing how they access money, shifting from taxable income to tax-free loans. This lets their underlying assets keep growing untouched while they fund their lifestyle with that borrowed money. Okay, we've come to the final stage, the end game. Now the focus shifts from accumulating wealth for yourself to preserving it for the next generation. This is about the long game, the final and frankly most powerful piece of this whole architecture. Just follow this timeline. A portfolio starts with $4 million. Over 40 years, it grows by $56 million. The whole time, because the assets were never sold, no capital gains tax was ever paid. Then, at the moment of death, something happens that feels like straight-up magic. And here it is, the final rule. It's a provision called the stepped-up basis. What it means is at death, the cost basis of your assets resets to whatever the market value is on that day. So that $56 million in gains, it's legally and permanently erased from the tax record. Gone, as if it never happened. Your heirs can sell everything the very next day and owe $0 in capital gains tax. And that brings us right back to the beginning. Back to that 22-year-old staring at their first paycheck, feeling confused and a little angry. Most people just move on. They accept the wall as a wall. What they never learned is that the confusion wasn't a wall at all. It was a door. It's the first step on a lifelong journey to understanding that the tax code isn't just a tool for taking your money. It's a system you can learn to navigate.